Hi Geminis, welcome to my channel. My name is Michelle. We're gonna jump into a bit of a spread for you, do a bit of an energy check-in for October 2021, see where you're at, see what's going on, see what you're moving into. And as always, like, my readings are more probably advice focused than prediction focused. I'm just checking in on kind of your energy and giving you kind of tools and guidance on how to navigate that as best you can. Move these over here just so I can see them a bit better. Give myself a bit of space. Okay, so I feel like what's been going on is that you've had some people around you that have kind of been draining your energy. Like, I've got 3 queens. They're all in reverse. They've got the Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, Queen of Wands. They're all in reverse. And I've got the 9 of Swords, which is a card I like stress and worry. And then I've got the Sun in reverse. Yeah. So you've had some people that have really been draining your energy. And the only queen that isn't on the table is the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords is the queen that is generally single. She's generally the feminine energy in the tarot that is single, that's unattached, or is divorced even. But she's a single kind of queen. And when you've got like all 3 of something on the deck and there's only one that's not there, like it's the one that's not there that is kind of the most significant in a way. And it's significant because the Queen of Swords is the most independent queen. And she's also the one that is the most like off with your head, but in a good way, you know, in the sense of like she's got impeccable boundaries, and that's what you haven't had, Gemini. That's what you haven't given yourself in recent times, and so you've had all these other people around you that very much have been draining your energy, very much. Whew. And it's like, we've got the companionship card here, and it says, giving someone your complete presence is an astonishing gift. And I feel like you've been trying to do that. Like, I feel like you've been trying to be very, very giving, but you've overdone it. I mean, there's just no other way of putting it, really. You've overdone it, and there just could be a lack of reciprocity. You know, like, you've been giving, you haven't been getting it back in return, and it's left you out of balance. The good news is, however, we have the World upright and the Wheel of Fortune upright, which is major, like, closure of cycles energy. So, and we also have Eagle Spirit here. Spirit has your back. So, if you've noticed, like, a lot of birds flying around your place recently, like, more so than normal, or birds that don't normally hang out in your area, particularly any that are kind of eagle-like, so like eagles, hawks, falcons, like that kind of thing, they could be really strongly trying to give you a message of like, like wrap this stuff up, you know, like set some boundaries in place, learn how to set some boundaries. Try giving to these people in a new way, like, because it can be just as giving to say to people, like, if you've got people that are constantly coming to you for advice, let's say, and let's say you spend a lot of your time listening to them, and continually having sort of the same issues again and again, and you're continually giving them really great advice, which they never follow up on, then I'd invite you to kind of consider the thought that maybe they didn't want your advice in the first place. Because if they'd wanted it, they probably would be acting on it. So maybe what they're really wanting is someone to vent to. The trouble with venting, though, is it can just kind of perpetuate the negative feelings that this person's having, and it can kind of dump them on you. So you have to kind of take a different approach. That's kind of what I'm getting with the Page of Pentacles. And by taking a different approach, you may well find that these people end up kind of bothering somebody else with their problems. Because if if the next time these people come to you and ask for lots of advice, you could say, hey, I've noticed that we've had a few chats like this recently, and I've noticed that, we're kind of going round and round the same territory. We're kind of recovering the same stories, and, I've noticed that I've given you, some advice in the past, and I've given you a lot of my time, and I've noticed that, you haven't really, taken that on board, and you haven't really tried any of those things, and that's totally fine. That's your call, but I'm just wondering whether this is really productive. I'm just wondering whether it's really actually that helpful for us to keep doing this. And by having like a really kind of honest conversation, a really kind of blunt conversation, I think you really need to channel that Queen of Swords kind of energy, and not in a cruel way. Like, you can be quite blunt and quite clear and quite strong in how you communicate without being nasty. Like, it doesn't have to be the same thing, right? It's just, it's kind of, the Queen of Swords energy is just like telling somebody like it is, just very honestly, without sugarcoating anything. Because when you sugarcoat something, sometimes people hear the bit of it that they want to hear and they miss kind of like the main message, you know what I mean? People don't miss the main message with the Queen of Swords because she doesn't put all those kind of like nice fluffy bits of extra language around it that can result in things getting confused. And so, like, I wouldn't necessarily advise that would be the way you would communicate with somebody if it was the first time they were coming to you and asking for advice. But if you're going round and round the same cycle, that's like what the Queen of Swords is designed for. Like, that is her wheelhouse. Is like, she's going to be like, time out. So I noticed we've been doing this. We've been coming back to the same things. We're not really getting anywhere. Maybe until maybe you need to be honest with yourself. Do you really want to solve this problem? Or do you really want to just be able to continue to complain about what's not working in your life? And that sounds harsh, but it doesn't have to be harsh. You don't have to deliver it from a harsh place, because the thing is, if you really love someone and you really care about their well-being, you don't want to keep seeing this person spin their wheels. And if you've tried empathy and you've tried compassion and you've tried to give them really practical, tangible advice and they haven't wanted to take it, then I do think you have to address the possibility that maybe that's not actually what they want. Like, they could be very attached to this victim kind of consciousness, and if it's draining your energy, then you need to put a stop to that for your own well-being. But you might actually need to just kind of invite them to consider the possibility that they're not really doing themselves any favors anyway. And it can actually be an act of love to point that out to somebody. Now, they may not want to hear it, but that's kind of a separate issue. For some people, you could have that conversation and they may not take it well at the time necessarily, but they may go away and think about it and be like, actually, like, it can be the kind of thing that just works on their subconscious in the background, and they think, why haven't I taken any advice? Like, why do I keep having the same kind of problems? Like, if I go into a workplace and I keep having the same kind of issues, and then I keep going to a new job and I keep having the same issues there, and then I go to a new job and I keep having the same issues there, I'm kind of the common denominator. Is there something that I'm doing that's contributing to that? Or is it that I'm just expecting that and therefore that's what's playing out? Ditto, somebody that ends up in a bad relationship with the same kind of guy or the same kind of girl over and over and over. Even though they're different people, right? So, because at the moment you've got the sun in reverse. So the sun in reverse, upright, obviously it's a sign of a lot of joy and happiness. That's one element. But upright, it's also a sign of clarity, seeing things clearly. In the reverse, it's kind of like not really willing to see things clearly, maybe not really willing to be happy or to take the action that would lead to a more positive outcome. And so you've got an opportunity here where potentially you could set yourself free, and if the other people, because it does look like you're actually surrounded by many, many people, you've got the potential where you could actually possibly, if these people are open to it, set them free as well. And set them on a new path where they're not addicted to this kind of stress and anxiety and negativity kind of stories. And they actually become open to see things clearly. The flip side of it is you have to kind of get clear with yourself that because you've allowed these kind of people in your life for so long and you haven't set boundaries and you haven't had these kind of conversations, you may have to be willing to look at the fact that maybe there's something that you get from that. Like, maybe as much as it might drain you and as much as you might get frustrated with these people, like, what payoff are you getting from it? Why are you continuing to allow it? And maybe it's because you like feeling wanted, you like feeling needed, you like feeling like you get to be the one that has all the answers and all the advice, and that might satisfy you on some kind of level. And if you were to have that kind of conversation with them and they were to stop coming to you, what then? What would your life look like then? Like, maybe you have kind of a community of, like, negative Nellies or negative Nancys or whatever around you, and maybe you don't have a lot of other people in your support network. And so maybe if you were to cut that off, you would actually have to step up and take some effort to find more positive kind of friendships, more reciprocal, more just enjoyable kind of friendships. And maybe, or maybe you would have to maybe take some of that advice that you've been giving other people and apply it to your own life rather than distract yourself with other people's problems. So it's a bit of like you and these other people kind of need to look at the ways in which you've kind of been enabling each other and some things that haven't really been serving either of you. You know, like, I think this is about kind of you removing yourself from that kind of place of power or that pedestal place that other people have put you in. And you kind of choosing to focus on yourself and on the present moment too. We've got the right here card. And the thing with a lot of worries that we have in life is we're really worrying about future things that haven't even happened yet. So the Nine of Swords, like, it's this very agonizing energy where you're staying up late at night and worrying about all the things that can go wrong. But a lot of them never actually go wrong. Or if they do go wrong, you've kind of experienced them twice. Like, you've been through the stress and anxiety of thinking about, you know, what if this happens, what if that happens, what if that happens, and then something bad actually does happen, and it's kind of like you're having to do it twice. So this card here says, stay in the present and don't get too far ahead of the flow. You'll soon trust that nothing more will come than can be handled each moment. So, you know, that might be just some general advice to take on board for yourself, and for these people that you're kind of dealing with. Like I say, the good news is that you do have the World and you do have the Wheel of Fortune, which are both about kind of closing up something, starting a new cycle. And we also have this eagle spirit has your back. So I do think that if you want to get kind of off this train and off this path, that there is a lot of support available to you right now to do so. And we do have, like, a couple of nines, because we've got the Nine of Swords, we've got the 36 card here. So those are both 9 energies, add up to a 9. Then we've got the Hierophant, which is 5, and we've got Eagle Spirit, 23, which adds up to a 5. So there's a lot of 5 energy and a lot of 9 energy. So 9 energy is about endings. So it may be that you actually need to kind of get away from these people and form new, much more positive friendships. And 5s is all about change. 5s is all about, change and adjustment and kind of moving in a new direction. And, so I think that's what you're called to do. You're called to kind of move in a new direction around your beliefs, around your friendships, around how you support your friends. So, I mean, if these are people that you want to keep in your life, and you want to support them, I think you're just being asked to do it in a very different way. You're being asked to take a step back, kind of remove yourself off the pedestal that these people have put you on, spend a lot more time kind of focusing on your own life, focusing on the present moment, and give these people space to figure out their own solutions. Like, that's the thing, when you jump in and you try and fix things for everybody else, you're not really allowing them the chance to grow. And so what happens next? Well, the next time they have a problem, they have to come out and find you, because they haven't had any practice on how to handle these things themselves. So you are actually doing them a bit of a disservice by continuing to kind of fix and help. And so yeah, just kind of take a step back, really focus on the here and now, focus on your own life, focus on just what's immediately in front of you, and give these people some space to kind of learn something for themselves. Learn how to get their emotions under control, learn how to find their own sense of confidence and self-esteem, learn how to be good with money, how to take care of a home, how to cook for themselves, clean for themselves, take care of their body, find a job for themselves, like all these kind of things. And if you do that, I think you could enter into a very new positive cycle for yourself and get the sun upright, which would be really awesome. So anyway, we'll leave it there. Thanks so much for stopping by, for checking out this video. This is, I think, the 10th video that I've done for this month, the zodiac signs, so I've only got 2 more signs to go. You can watch the other ones, because I do intend that you can watch these videos for your sun sign, moon sign, rising, Jupiter, Venus, North Node. So check out your birth chart, check out what other significant placements and what other significant signs you've got going on, and then go check out some of my other videos. Anyway, take care. See you later. Bye.